Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. First and foremost, as always, just wanted to say a big thank you to all the channel supporters. Anybody who's liked, shared, subscribed, commented on previous videos, it's greatly appreciated as always. Any newcomers to the channel, hope you enjoyed the video. Please check back on some of the older videos, and if you want to get up to speed on this build from where we started. Again, please press that sub button. We're at about 485 subscribers at the moment, so it'll be nice to push over that 500 mark, and certainly work our way up to the next benchmark, which is 1,000, of course. But yeah, I mean, obviously this is just a follow up from the last video on this viewer's choice build. I kind of underestimated a little bit how long all this foiling would take me. I would say I've got at least a good 4.5 hours, 5 hours maybe by the time I got all this finished off. It just seemed like a never-ending task. I had to walk away from it a couple of times just to give myself a mental break. If you want to save yourself that time, go with what Mike suggested in the comments and just paint all these black, and you'll still end up with a nice looking van. And yeah, if you want to do a base model, shave off all the trim and what have you. But I think I persevered. I wanted this to stand out detail wise and what have you. And yeah, it's quite a high trim line for a fleet vehicle, but I've worked in fleet for in my last job. That's what I was doing for 8 years, and things would happen with manufacturers. Well, not so much anymore after the world turned crazy after the lockdowns and what have you. But what would happen with manufacturers is they'd build too many of a vehicle, which isn't a great seller. They'd spec vehicles up too high and could never sell them. So my story with this one is Chrysler had built a few too many high spec window buses in 72, and we're approaching the 73 year. So they offered a cracking deal to Pan Am. Obviously they took it into fleet, but yeah, that's the story with it. But we are going to still go with some base hubcaps and what have you. I think the story behind that will be that it came with the high model hubcaps, and that for use on runways, they didn't want them flying off and ended up as debris in the runways. They put the poverty caps on, which don't fall off as easy. The fleet caps, they're designed in a way that they wouldn't fall off at higher speeds and what have you. But yeah, I mean, going back to the actual model and not my imagination running riot there. Yeah, we obviously had to do the trim line along here. Really difficult because you've got to keep it right on this edge to keep this white band going all the way around here. But yeah, that continues all the way at the lower rear doors and round the other side. I've still got the amber marker lights to paint in, but I'm gonna do that after I've lacquered it. Reason being is I pretty much only finished this off last night. I didn't do anything else to it, and I want to get it cleared this morning. I want to put the decals on it, and I don't want the Tamiya clear to run if it's not fully cured and ruin all my white paint and have like orange seep lines running down my white paint under the clear. So yeah, I'm gonna do that after we finish clearing. I actually went in and I foiled these. I really wasn't happy with the finish on that other method I used. I mean, I probably just wasn't doing it right, but it was it it's not something I'd probably do a great deal of. I mean, it was ideal for something like this, a really intricate design. But yeah, I think I'll just carry on with my usual ways of foiling. But yeah, we got it all the windows, all 13 windows. Including these vents here. It's I definitely underestimated how long it would take me. I mean, I think I first started by just putting a strip down here and a strip at the top and a strip down each of the panels of these windows when I started on this side. And by the time you've even laid the tape, the foil down, you're in it 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And so I did that this way. And also when you're doing crossover lines, when you're cutting it sometimes snags. It doesn't make it difficult. So in all honesty, I adopted Matt from Model Car Videos, where you're doing bare metal foil, and just put a big strip along the side. In the end, that saved quite a bit of time, and it was easier to cut round. I mean, it still took an age to do, but it works out. And I tried to save all the bits. So yeah, I cut about 2 mil in, and tried to cut out all the foil so we could use it at a later date, stick it back on the sheet. But yeah, the windows weren't easy at all. I mean, you have to get the foil all inside these edges, but I didn't want it sticking through and making the roof liner and the interior metalwork looking scratty through the glass. So yeah, it was difficult to finish it off both inside and out without it all peeling everywhere. So I'm looking forward to getting some clear on this to try and seal it in a little bit more and hopefully stop it falling off in the future. But yeah, I mean, it was just like, even after I finished the windows, I think, right, that's done. And then you got an handle there, and then your marker lights, and then you going around another handle and another handle and another handle. And yeah, it just seemed like I was really fighting this one. So yeah, like I say, there are easier ways of doing it. I mean, I'm glad I'm persevered, because that's a lovely looking foiled kit now. And once we got the decals on, we'll get a better view on it. But I mean, you're not going to see this body now until the next and final video. I think putting the decals on it in this video and showing you, because I'm gonna do that next and get it cleared, so it gives the body a bit of time to dry, so I can polish it. But yeah, I think we're giving too much of the game away. I know from the thumbnail, it's still looking very, very holiday van at the moment. Because basically all you've seen is really it's a factory stock Dodge at the moment. We're not doing much else to it, but just a few little details and what have you to really bring the model to life a little bit more. So anyway, I'll stop. We're 8 minutes and I'm still gassing about the body, but that has taken a long time, and it's going to probably delay the video by a day. I was hoping to get it out Friday, but it'll probably be Saturday now. I would have thought. I want a bit of time on some of the other details and what have you. So right, we'll see you in the next clip anyway, and hopefully we got a little bit more on this done. See you in a minute. Right, guys, well, from this morning, obviously I spent about another hour decaling the vehicle. I'm really happy with that, to be quite honest with you. I'm happy with the decal arrangement I've put on, and I've not wanted to overdo it, but yeah, so that's all ready to clear. I decided not to clear it straight after, only for the fact that I really wanted to crack on and get some other stuff done. So I'll clear the body after this clip. But I do want a bit of a free evening to myself. Like, I've got a lot of videos to catch up on, and it's not healthy staying at the bench too long. So I'm just doing bits and pieces, but I think, like I say, we're definitely on the home straight. I mean, I got all the seats glued in now. That two-tone does look really nice now. I was almost not wanting to put figures in there just because the interior looks so nice, but they're all mounted, they're all level and everything. So yeah, glad we put them seat backs on in the end. We glued the engine and the radiator in. Chassis is pretty much all finished now, to be quite honest with you. Got some more new old stock 60s Firestone AMT tyres. But because we use the original MPC wheel backs, they're really tight to get on there, and I was frightened of breaking something. So I used a tip I've learned off Martin Dare. I know when he does his corgi restorations and dinky restorations, and he has old tyres which have gone quite hard and they're hard to get on and off the wheels. He soaks them in warm water. So I thought I'd try it on a 1/24th or 1/25th scale, and I was surprised how well it worked. It really softened up the tyres. It absolutely just slipped on. I think it's a good thing I've know that that'll work quite easily, because they're going to have to come off again. Reason being is that I chose them Joanne type wheels. But with the thing is with them Joanne wheels is they're a great looking wheel, but they absolutely fit nothing else but Joanne tyres. And I didn't want to use Joanne tyres because the white bands 90% of the time are all skew up and all over the place. I'm going to find some other AMT wheels and we'll test fit them in there, and then we'll paint them, and then we'll put them all together at once. I mean, it should be all press fit, to be quite honest with you. I won't be gluing anything on the wheels except from the hubcaps we choose. But yeah, I mean, definitely if you watch the corgi and diecast restoration guys, you learn a lot of stuff from them, and even using little disposable shot glasses for paint palettes, mixing paint and stuff. I mix some light blue paint for me figures and what have you. So it's definitely worth watching them guys, and I've learned a lot from them over the years of watching YouTube and what have you, and it's all transferable skills. We're all doing the same thing in one fashion or another. But figures wise, I showed you these ones in the last video. At the time, they were about 7 quid for 20. So, I mean, I wasn't expecting much. You got to think of it. They worked out at 35p a pop, which is absolutely nothing for figures. I mean, they're probably doubled in price now, but even if you're paying 70p a figure, it's not much. You pay peanuts. You should expect monkeys. But then I was looking at the stance. Whoever designed these, I mean, I really don't know what he's even either taking a kick to the chuds or he's hiding something he shouldn't be. So yeah, and it's too tall. I mean, most of these figures are just too big for this interior. They're too tall. I've tried sanding them down on a few of them and seeing if I can get the height down. But yeah, I was looking at that one and these and what have you, and putting him in, he's leaning right forward like that, like he's somebody slammed brakes on. So I mean, even this one ain't too bad, but even with sanding the backside down quite a lot, she's still too tall to sit in it. So I don't know what this one was supposed to be doing. Like maybe going to slap this guy for doing whatever he's doing, but at least she fit in the interior quite well. So out of all of them, I mean, you get an assortment of them. Maybe a few more than others, but yeah, out of all of them, this was the only one which could really work, to be quite honest, in the interiors. And this is what I ended up coming up with from the same figure. First of all, we gave her a bit of haircut. That hair on that was looking just really weird. So sanded all that down. We painted her up in kind of Pan Am colours. In the 70s, it was either light blue or brown. For a slappy hand, I thought the best thing we could do with that is we've given her a bit of a cigarette holder and a cigarette. Because you could still smoke in vehicles. That's what you did in the 70s, because it was still cool and fashionable and what have you. So yeah, we just drilled a little hole in her hand. Actually got a toothpick and super glued a toothpick in there, and once that was set, we just cut off the end with the Tamiya cutters, and then just started sanding it down a little bit and putting a bit of shape into it, and then I used I didn't know. I had an idea if I wanted to get a bit of movement. I didn't want if I was going to put figures in it over the nice interior, I didn't want it looking stagnant. So I wanted it to be almost like a screenshot capture at the moment, so to speak. And yeah, so I used a cotton wool bud. I got the idea actually when I was foiling it, and when you're using your cotton buds to press down your foil, they sometimes get stuck to it, and you get little hairs hanging off it. So yeah, we just super glued that to the end. Sprayed it with a little bit of hairspray to give it a bit of hold. And to be quite honest with you, for a 35p figure, I'm pretty impressed with myself that it's come out. Bear in mind, I have never done a figure before, so I know I haven't shadowed it or anything like that, but once they're in there, the darkness of the interior gives you all the shadow you need, to be quite honest with you. We just wanted a bit of colour in there. So yeah, so she turned out really nice, to be quite honest with you. I had a bit of a struggle making them not look like the dolls out of Only Fools and Horses, but I think she looks right enough, so she can just pop herself in the back seat there, and like I say, that was the only ones we could really use. So I've had this Tamiya set, I think it is. They were all about eBay at one point in time, and they were coming as bag kits, but they were next to nothing. I think I paid £4 for this. I think the guy who was selling them, or the multiple sellers who have got hold of them, were just competing against each other, and then they just drastically dropped in price. I got myself a set. I should have bought more, to be quite honest with you, but I didn't. So I thought this would be an easy fix for some more figures, but it really wasn't, to be quite honest with you. This one, we used one of the women figures and painted her up in the light blue as well, and gave her a bit of a different colour haircut and hair colour and what have you. But we had to twist over her body a little bit, so and give her a bit of a better stance. And now she can sit into the back and talk to her pal and all this kind of thing. But I didn't want to overcrowd the interior. I didn't want too many figures in it, so I've limited it to 3. And I think the way I'm gonna do it is they're just waiting for the bus to fill up. I've got something in mind for some more figures, so this isn't kind of the end of the story. But this one's probably just stressing about flying. She's saying, surely you can't be stressed enough to smoke. And she goes, well, I am, and please don't call me Shirley, and all that kind of carry on. But yeah, I think that's enough for the backseat passengers. And then we used multiple parts for the driver. I did him in the brown Pan Am colours. He needed a lot of work just for the, like I say, I just didn't want somebody sat in a seat holding a steering wheel and looking straight forward. It wasn't the look I was going for, to be honest. Like I say, I wanted to capture some kind of moment. So we got him twisted round, and I got a clipboard in his hand and glued a clipboard in his hand, and we'll put some stuff on his clipboard, once all the paint's fully cured and what have you. But yeah, I mean, I pretty much built. I mean, I had to break his legs. I had to heat up his legs because the footwells in here are really tight. I've gone round the corner a bit too much with chucking out the women there, but yeah, so I had to bend up his legs and twist them in, and then it looked like his knees were dislocated, so we had to give him a lot of sanding. We had to move his arm pretty much round to the back, so there's a massive gap, and I just, I'm not fussed enough to want to start filling these things, so I just ploughed a load of super glue in there and a load of plastic sanding dust, filled up like that, and just gave him a bit of a paint. But he fits in there quite well now, and I'm not going to push the dashing all the way because it's a tight fit, and I don't really want to get it out too much. But I won't even have to glue this chappy in. The dash and the steering wheel will pin him down. So, but I think, them through the windows, I think we got a nice little start to a story going on here. Really pleased with them, to be quite honest with you. Like I say, never touched a figure to paint before in my life. Again, that's just through watching other videos. I mean, I didn't go to town, like I say. I mean, I get fascinated by watching HPI guy doing all his figures and stuff. I mean, not because I like figure models at all, to be quite honest, but I just get fascinated with how he manages to weather them and make them look so nice. And I've just used craft paints on all these. That gave me the matte finish as it was, and we'll give him a bit of a matte clear in the morning and what have you with everything else, just to seal everything in. But yeah, I'm really pleased with that, to be quite honest with you. Like I say, we're going to probably add I don't want to over-accessorise it in here. They wouldn't have been over it, we'll get a CB radio and maybe a first aid box in there, but that started to come out right. The roof rack. Now, I knew I was going to probably use something from the Heavenly Hearse, to be quite fair, and I've got a couple of builders. I've probably got 8 Heavenly Hearses, and 2 of them are builders. The rest are pretty much mint in box and what have you. But so I've got these ones out, and like I say, it's one of them had this style roof rack, which was far too ornate, and the other builder had completely different roof racks in the box, and which were, they aren't just shortened versions of these, unless somebody's gone to a lot of work of rounding off every single bottom stanchion and what have you. But yeah, so if maybe they're from an older issue, Heavenly Earth or something, but that's what we're using anyway. It might not be, it might have just been some roof rack somebody had thrown in there in the box of hearts, but we used what we could with them. And I nearly went, so I knew I wanted some wood style roof racks, roof rack boards on it. I mean, I looked at pictures of 70s vans, and I thought they'd be caged, but they're not. You either just got a straight bar, and you just tie stuff down, or they'd have some kind of boards on them. And I nearly, with me being a Yorkshire lad, not wanting to spend much money, nearly thought, well, I can go to Starbucks or Costa or something, and buy a coffee and help myself to a handful of coffee stirrers. I think that was the size I really wanted. So, but then I thought I'll look on eBay, and I found I mean, you can buy these on eBay for next to nothing. I mean, I think 100 was £2.45, and then from the same seller, 200 was £2.75. So, now I can use these as parts holders for painting and maybe do some other stuff with them. But that was less than the cost of a coffee and the fuel in a big V8 BMW to drive 6 miles across town and back, to just for the sake of half-inching some little coffee stirrers. But yeah, so we got all them cut. The way I've done it, I can't really show you because the body's not around. So, but I'm going to lay them out so you can still see the rain channels. I don't want to cover up the rain channels. It's not even the length of the roof rack. It doesn't cover the full length of the rain channels. I really didn't want to lose that little bit of visual details. Yeah, once it's on there, we're gonna paint the roof rack. We'll probably, I don't know what colour yet. Might just do it in a black or something. But yeah, they'll just stick on there and what have you. And then I thought, well, I'll use the rest of that laminate. Tie the colour into the interior. So we glued the rest of that laminate onto 6 coffee stirrers and put them under a stack of books for overnight, and then we could just use the razor saw and cut the laminate around, and then we just finished it off by sanding. I mean, I think I'll probably stain the sides a little bit, get rid of that chocolate digestive look, but we'll carry on doing that. I mean, luggage wise, I could have sworn I had a load of old AMC luggage. But I've probably sold them, to be honest. I've looked everywhere, I can't find them. You can buy like 3D printed ones online and what have you, but I don't know what they're like. So I just started cutting some styrene and what have you, and so I'm just pulling them out of the box at the minute. Like, should have really had them on the table, but yeah, well, they don't look much anyway at the moment. We just started cutting different shapes. It is actually acrylic I use. For some reason, I got a sheet of acrylic, and it's a nightmare to work with. But yeah, I've just done loads of different shapes. What we'll do is now they're all glued together and set, we'll start sanding and shaping them, putting little handles on them, putting little details on them, and we'll stack them on the roof rack once it's done, and maybe put a little bit of a tie down over them or something like that. But really, I mean, I think that's pretty much all we're going to do today, to be quite honest with you. Like I say, I really need to get this model, the actual main model finished. I need it done by next week. Really, I'm really hoping if I can get it finished by the main model finished by Monday, and have the final on the model on Monday, and if it's not Monday, it will unfortunately be Thursday. It's just I've got such a busy week again this week. I think Tuesday we're going to go across to Scarborough for a night. Me and the partner. Boys being looked after, so we're going to go away for a night and go to Scarborough or Brid or something, just to take her dog out for a walk on the beach and what have you. And then on it's bank holiday this weekend. My mate's just flown back from the Falklands, so we're gonna go through to Leeds on bank holiday Friday. I mean, which unfortunately for me means drinking, and me and drink really don't mix together nowadays. Now I'm knocking on about 3 pints, and I'm pretty much wanting to go home. So yeah, I'll no matter if I have 2 pints, 3 pints, or 12 pints, it all means the same. I'm gonna be hugging the porcelain god in the morning, and stating I'll never drink again. So that's going to wipe out probably my next weekend, and unfortunately my next weekend's the weekend I really need to get stuff on the eBay for the reduce sellers' fees and what have you. So yeah, so either way, so I'm going to really need to get this done ASAP. You know, I've got on Wednesday night, I've got something really exciting happening. So really looking forward to that. I mean, it's to do with YouTube, but you know, we'll talk about that another time. But you know, yeah, I'm really looking forward to a few things this week. So, but unfortunately, that's just going to take me away from the bench. But we will get this model finished, and yeah, you will hopefully see it by Monday, Tuesday at the very, very latest. And yeah, failing that, you know, we will, just with what I've got in between, it might be Thursday. But let's think on the positive side, and you know, we'll get this buttoned up. Yeah, I'll cut the video. You know, I didn't think this was going to be a long video at all, to be quite honest. And again, I've just rambled on for half an hour again. So yeah, so once again, thanks to everybody who's supported the channel, and you know, please press that sub button if you're watching the videos and you haven't quite pressed that sub button yet. It really does help us out. You know, we are so close to 500, and then I really want to push it to that next benchmark. So I mean, until I speak to you again, you know, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Like I say, I'm just gonna have a quiet night tonight, watch a bit of telly for a change, and go do something like that. But yeah, whatever you're doing, have a great time, and we'll see you in the next video. See you, bye.